What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. You'll notice that I've got a new microphone, so hopefully the audio sounds alright and it's in a spot that can pick up my voice. Probably not the best mic for disc golf, but we're giving it a go anyway. Last weekend I headed out to Toowoomba for the Garden Cty Open. This was the second year that this event has been held, and I went there last year as well. And the course at Toowoomba always presents a really fun challenge. One of the reasons why it's quite challenging is the elevation difference compared to the courses that we usually play here in Brisbane. I can't remember the meterage, but the course at Toowoomba sits at about 2,270-ish feet above sea level. So that actually changes how the discs fly. So one of the reasons why I headed up on Saturday to practice was not only to practice the course and get a bit of a game plan and get used to the lines, but also figure out how my discs were flying in Toowoomba at the different elevations. We had an absolutely beautiful day on the Saturday for practice. I started to develop a pretty good game plan. There were quite a few holes that I thought were gettable, and I was feeling pretty confident going into the tournament day on Sunday. Another awesome challenge of the course is that the whole front nine is sort of a temporary layout where they put in baskets on the day, and it's completely open. There's a few trees, and if you do go into some of the bush, it's tough and quite thick, but generally it's open, and there's some really long bomber holes on the front nine, which you can definitely capitalize on if you have some distance. So I was feeling pretty confident about those holes. Then you move over onto the back nine and it gets very wooded. There are some really tight lines you've got to hit, and it presents a very unique challenge to pretty much anything else that we have in Brisbane, which is really fun. So you get the contrast of the open and the wooded, which makes it such a fun course to play at. And you have to kind of switch between those different mentalities throughout the round, sometimes multiple times throughout the round, depending on where you're starting on. So I really enjoy going out there, and it kind of forces you to use all skills and aspects of your game, which is really exciting. And obviously too, with the amount of trees and kicks that you can get, it challenges your mental game just as much as it challenges sort of the physical, mechanical aspects of the game as well. That's even better. So after doing some practice, I then went back to my accommodation and chilled out there for a little bit, had a little bit of a nap because I was feeling quite exhausted. I threw quite a lot of throws in that practice round. And then I headed to Queen's Park and the Botanic Gardens there in the afternoon, which was really lovely. Such a nice place. The flowers are beautiful. It's just coming out of the carnival of flowers, I think it's called. And it was really nice there, and the park's amazing. And there are lots of dogs. There was heaps of playgrounds, and so I tried to go on some of the kids' playgrounds as well because it looked like too much fun. I couldn't resist myself, but just an all-round good time. And there's heaps going on. There's a festival thing, so really nice, relaxing time there. And then I headed back to the course. I got a bit of putting practice in, got the reps in there. The putt was actually feeling really good. I was changing it up and trying to find something that worked for this weekend, and it was feeling really good in practice. I didn't get much footage of it, but I was feeling pretty confident about that. So then tournament Sunday rolled around. We were playing one round in the morning, one round in the afternoon as usual. And the weather wasn't quite as nice as the day before, and there was talk of rain coming. Fortunately, the rain pretty much held off for the entirety of the day. There was a few drops here and there, but nothing much, which was great. The wind had picked up a little bit though, so that added a little bit of an extra challenge in the open holes. But I had a really awesome card for round one. There was just 3 of us, so we powered through, and I want to give a huge shout out to Nick for helping film some of these holes and getting some of my throws and being able to zoom in and stuff like that.
Gosh.
He also threw some incredible drives and made some great putts as well. Get in there. Yeah. There's awesome vibes on the card, and Jack as well. He was making some highlight putts and some awesome birdies as well. My first round, I was pretty happy with it. It only made one bogey, and that was from silly drive that I cut off too early. Tried to throw a roller out of the bush, went the wrong way, just missed the putt for par, and took a bogey. And it was kind of a bit of a slow round. I didn't really make any big mistakes, but I also wasn't quite capitalizing on my birdie opportunities, or the holes that you kind of should get birdie on, and that I knew I could get birdie on. Missing maybe a couple of putts. Putting was generally okay. Drives were decent. It just wasn't quite fine-tuned enough. But I managed to finish at 2 down for the round, which was quite solid. I would have loved to have been lower, considering that there are quite some scoreable holes there. But 2 down, I was like, that's not too bad, under par. I felt pretty good about that. I think I was sitting in 8th place after the round 1. Dan was having a killer round. He was on 7 under. Then it went 5 under, Jeremiah, and then a bunch at 4, bunch at 3, and then me at 2. So I knew it was really close, and if I could keep my head in it, actually kind of capitalize on some of these holes, I knew I could jump up the leaderboard in round 2. So I was at the bottom of the chase card and had an awesome card for round 2. We started round 2. I picked up a good birdie to start with on a tricky island hole. I managed to take par and birdie on that hole both rounds, so definitely better than last year, and was feeling really good. I had a birdie opportunity on hole 2 of round 2 as well, but just couldn't quite make the putt, which was a shame. So I had a birdie opportunity on the next hole as well, but hit the band high on the putt, so at least I committed to it, but that was an opportunity gone wanting as well. Made the birdie on my 4th hole with a nice forehand that we all got birdie on, actually, on our card, and I was really happy with how clean I was playing. I think I only took 1 OB stroke the whole tournament over the 2 rounds, and that was a really tricky double Mando hole that I hit the Mando tree and kicked left, so missed that one, but managed to throw an awesome approach shot to save the par there. So I was really happy with how clean I was playing, and I was really happy with my mental game. I just kept on staying in it. I had to do a lot of self-talk to keep myself in it, and I didn't really know where the scores were at, but I knew that I was shooting pretty well and doing pretty similar to my card, maybe even a little bit better at times, and managed to pull off some nice shots. Even there was one shot that I actually didn't get on camera, but probably my shot of the tournament. I threw a drive that was out of position, but then nailed a buzz shot that just went dead straight. I missed all the trees and was parked by the basket for birdie on a reasonably tricky par 4, so through the woods as well. So I definitely made some more birdies in round 2. Took 1 bogey as well, hole 19, and drive, clipped some trees, dropped short, left me in a bad position, which I hit another tree, and then had a long range look for par, but couldn't make that, and then made a good putt for the bogey. So that was a bit unfortunate, made a bogey there, but overall, I knew I was jumping up. I didn't really want to know the scores. I like not knowing and just sort of playing my game, and I had a feeling that I was in with a chance of jumping up. Our card generally was playing really well. Brian was having a killer round. Liam and Ryan as well were playing well. We're getting some good shots in, and it was really good vibes on that card as well. I really enjoyed playing with those guys, and we're all sort of pushing each other to keep going well, and everyone was nice and relaxed. And I was actually the most relaxed I've been at a tournament this year, which is kind of a long time coming, but I felt relaxed, I felt confident, and my throws were going pretty well. So then I actually managed to get a really good birdie on the first hole in the Open that we came to. Technically hole 1, and it was one of our, I think it's our 3rd last hole. Got a really good birdie there, parked it, and had an easy tap in, and I think the rest of my card parred that one, so I knew I was doing pretty well. Hole 2 is a tricky hole. I threw just a bit short, really good line, but just a bit short in round 2, so tried the scuba. I couldn't quite get the scuba to fall. That's still coming, but took the par there, and we had the big par 5, hole 3 to finish with, which is a really fun hole. You can just drive it as far as you want for basically 2-3 shots and then give yourself a birdie look. And I managed to throw a pretty far 137 meter drive off the tee, which was awesome, put me in a great position. Turned over the second shot a little bit, but still got some good distance, and then threw my approach much better than round one.
Yeah, good choice.
And put myself probably maybe 5, 4, 5 meters, 5, 6 meters, I don't know, around there for my birdie look. And I kind of knew that if I made this birdie putt, I would actually jump all the way up and finish in solo second place due to some of the stuff that had been happening on my card. So, because no one was catching Dan. Dan was shooting really well. He ended up shooting 2 7-under rounds to finish at 14 under, which was absolutely insane. He absolutely killed it. So congrats to him. But I knew that I had a decent chance of coming second. Actually, I was going to come second if I made this birdie putt. Unfortunately, I just left it short. Downhill putt, left it short, clanked it off the cage, took par there, which is unfortunate for being in such a good position, but that actually ended me tied for second with Brian, which was my first podium finish of the year. So I'm super stoked about that. There's a little bit of like, oh, I could have done this, could have done that, but everyone could have said that. It was awesome to jump up with Brian as well and end up in tied for second together. A long way behind Dan, but regardless, finished in tied for second, which is awesome.
MA1 division, we're in a tie for second on 7-under between BJ Clevenger and Josh Morrison. First place, 14-under, Dan Adamek.
Yeah, Dan, highs up.
And gives me a lot of confidence going forward for the last, there's really only a few big tournaments of the year left, kind of culminating in the Australian Champs in November. So really, really happy with how I played, how my mental game was, able to stay in it, be confident and not be too nervous. And it really made a massive difference. So I think things are trending in the right direction, hopefully. Hopefully I can get a little bit more consistent, get the putting down even more. I've been working on that since the tournament. And yeah, we'll see if we can pull off another good result like this in the tournaments to come. Overall, it was a really awesome tournament, so well run. Shout out to Andrew and Karen for putting on an amazing tournament, and all the sponsors, and also all the people who took out their respective divisions. There was some really awesome play over the weekend, and it was so fun to get out there and have a little getaway and play some disc golf and come away with a pretty solid result. So I appreciate you tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this video and this format. Hopefully this mic was working, and we'll catch you in the next one.